Hi, you might remember this room as I recently did a video on building this built-in wardrobe, and I'm out of breath because I just walked up the stairs, so that's a sign of my current health condition. It was missing the drawers, so this video I'm going to quickly do those. I've got the hardware now to do it. I've got these big 50cm drawer slides that are basically going to allow me to build a drawer that's the entire depth of this whatever you call it. What I really want is for one of the drawers to be able to fit this box. And if we look, this box is a fairly snug fit in terms of the amount of gap at the top. Once you put in the true runners, there's about that much, there's about that much distance left for the sort of thickness of the side of the actual box itself. Got to do some measurements and then we'll get there. It's a weird camera angle. Anyway. Right, so I've got 4 pieces that are going to form the 2 sides of the 2 cabinets, and then I've got some other pieces that are going to form the 2 ends of the 2 cabinets. I need to cut these down to 50cm, and I need to cut these down to 29.75. So yeah, I've cocked up here, so that's good. This needed to be 26 because it's on the inside. Can't even cut them because I've now pocket holed them. Not a lot I can do about that, really. Oh, bloody hell, that's annoying. I think I just got to redo these 4 pieces. As if by magic, the pieces are now the right size, I think. That is the drawer. Just needs to clamp it together and then attach it all now. So I don't know what happened, but driving in the screw made it square. I think that's more luck than anything. Right, get in here, get in here. I've got this little scrap bit of plywood. I'm going to put that across the gap, and then I'll put my runner along that scrap bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pencil, which I haven't got in my hand, but I'm going to get it. You can see that there's some holes all the way along it. I'll draw on the hole, and then I'll get my drill, and I'll drill where I drew the hole. Then I'll get my other drill, and I'll screw in some screws, and then these will be attached, and then I can attach the drill. Drawn the hole there, done the same on the adjustable ones. Just repeat that for the other side. Oh dear. Okay, so that is one runner in. It turns out that this little lip here sits a bit proud of this. So the drawer's getting caught, but it does work if I can get my finger in there. So you can still pull it out. There we go. Do the same this side now. There we go. Second one in. This one, a lot smoother. All the way out. All that's left is face frames. What I'm going to do is make a face frame that fits this gap perfectly with a 1/8 inch gap around the edge, because that's what I've seen people do. Okay, unfortunately the only thing I've got to make the face frame with is this really rough piece of, I don't know, probably pine, and it's really bloody big. So I'm just going to cut off an oversized chunk and then I'll tidy it up on the planer thicknesser. Bad timing, but I think I've lost a wheel on my workbench. Ah, okay. I don't know what to do right now. Oh shit. I wouldn't describe this as being ideal. Wheel is back in place. Can't imagine this is an overly sensible suggestion, but I think I should try and finish this cut. I can't even wheel this back into position. Okay, I've managed to shuffle the broken workbench out the way. It's all getting a little bit tight, especially with the new bandsaw. I'll do a video on this, but I need to flatten my face. The board is quite bowed at the minute, so I'm taking off just 1 mil at a time until this is flat. There you go. So now we'll put that face up against the fence and we'll joint one edge. Now we just got to run it through this face, through the thicknesser until we're happy with that. Well, as you can see, that made a fucking mess. I've now got a perfectly flat board. Rip it down to final width on the table saw, and then we're going to put the cross cuts back on it, rip it down to its final width, and we'll have 2 face frames. I'm just going to put a chamfer on the outside edge. So there you go. All the edges are chamfered, and that should sit on the outside of the drawer. Okay, I've brought them up. I literally have not tested this, so this is the first attempt. There you go. Decent little gap either side. Fits in nicely. Whoa! Test the other side. All together, that's a bit of a success, I think. Just to stick them on now, and we'll be good. To mount this, I've put 5 spacing cards either end. I'm going to put this on top of those playing cards so that there's an even gap either end. I've then put some double-sided tape on here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this into place. I'm going to space it with an even number of cards again, either side, so I know that the gap is even. And then as I lift up and push it in, it'll stick into place. I can then pop this drawer out, clamp it into place using these 2 clamps. I can then pre-drill a hole, countersink it, and drive in 4 screws, and that's going to hold my face in place. Okay, so I've put it in temporarily the other way around, just so I can figure out the spacing. It looks like 6 playing cards either side is the perfect amount. So I'm going to flip this around with these 6 in place either side, and I should be perfectly centered, perfectly spaced at the bottom. Right, so this is what I was talking about. I stuck it down with double-sided tape. I've then clamped it in place. I used a little scrap bit of wood to ensure the clamping mark didn't transfer to the front of this. And then I could pre-drill some holes, countersink them, and then drive in some screws. So the theory goes, I take off the clamps. There you go. Nothing on the face to suggest there's any fasteners. Fits in nice and perfect. Comes out. And I added a little chamfer to the bottom. Let me show you that. Of this one. There you go. So I can have some finger grip and pull it out, because it is still a little more stubborn. I did adjust the screws in the end, so I didn't have to do any sanding, but I think it's just a little tighter on the runners. So there you go. One of them done. I'll repeat for the other side. There's that one. So the final thing to do is to unclip them. I'll take the drawer out. I'm going to stick some strips of wood to hide the exposed plywood, and then these are going to be done. So they're both in now, and they've both got lips added to hide the plywood. You can see there. Need to do a little bit of tidying up, but that is it largely done, and that is the same for both drawers. So there we go. That's it done.